All right. How you doing today? English family. Thanks for having me. So I'm Thomas. I'm with Bright House. Who's heard of Bright House? No one? Okay. All right. I mean, that's sad, but we're a local family-owned business. I'm not that surprised. We've done 500 installs over the last 5 years or so. Right? It's me and my dad. It's nothing too special. But what is special is our customers. We care about you guys. So we're just downtown. Have you ever been to? You've all been to the fairgrounds, right? Orange and Cesar Chavez, I think. It was Cesar Chavez yesterday. It looks like it might be Kings Canyon again. But you've probably all been to Ventura TV across the street. And then there's the gas station. Then just on that corner, there's that big 2-story historical building. You know, it used to be a thrift shop. Then it was a security place. So we bought that building. What we love about it is that people can come into the office and talk to us. Because, you know, you guys don't know it, but I go talk to your neighbors. Not all of them had a great experience with solar. And they love that they can come into the office and talk to someone. You know? So you guys haven't gone solar yet. Tell me a little bit about what your experience has been with solar. Do you have any friends or family that have been solar, or what's kept you from doing it so far?
Well, I just hear a lot of bad things about, you end up with two bills instead of, just one. You're paying a lot on the contract and stuff like that.
That's great. I want to get all this, so keep giving me more. We got a true up bill.
So I heard my uncle got solar, and they told him one price, and then it ended up being another price, and it kept going up. And there's a lot of fear around that.
So different prices than what he was told, and it stepped up. Is that right? Okay.
My aunt, she was thinking about getting solar, but she just didn't like the 25-year agreement.
So she didn't like the long contract. Okay. What else you got?
I'm moving out next week, so I've heard that putting solar on it
We're gonna miss you,
loses
son.
buyers.
Moving soon. What was there another one? You're gonna miss him. Oh. Have to keep the house. You're just going to college. What else, guys? Do you have any friends or family that like their solar?
Yeah, back when something they did like a PPA back in the day,
Okay. What do they like about their PPA? Do you know?
that they're getting like credits back at the end of the year
Okay.
from PG&E.
So they don't have a true up,
No,
and PG&E actually gives them some credits back.
yeah, so they kind of enjoying it actually.
Sweet. So I mean, I don't need to write that one down. I don't need to address it, but I'd love to hear some positive stories. You know how many panels they have, or how many batteries they have?
I think it was like 13 panels.
Okay. And I'm gonna just put stuff over here that I'm gonna keep in my notes because I might need these later. So they have 13 panels. What was that?
One battery.
One battery. Do you know about what their price is?
They're paying around, I think, 145 a month, 147.
145 a month. Do you know what company that's with?
I don't really know the company. They just because it was been like so long ago. They don't really know the company. They don't got like the agreement.
Okay. So what we're going to do here, just quickly, is first I will go ahead and address your guys' past concerns, what you've been through, what's different about this program, and why it resolves all of these concerns. And then what I'll do is I'll explain to you why so many of your neighbors are submitting an application for this program, what they're worried about, and what have them reach out to us to begin that process. And then if it all makes sense, and if we can kind of get the preliminary things qualified, we'll go ahead and submit an application today.
Okay. So last thing
Yeah.
I got is I had a buddy, company wanted to put solar on his roof, and they did, but they didn't warranty out the panels, and then his roof wasn't fixed, and he was getting leaks in his house.
So was it the panels that wasn't warranted or the roof?
The roof.
So it's really that they did bad work, they caused roof leaks, and I'm guessing because you're telling me the story that they didn't come back and fix that?
It's more like they ran off.
Okay. So the way that our program works, in the past we've had, these step-up loans. In the past we've had things like a tax credit where you may or may not have qualified for that. In the past, we've had leases where the rates will go up every single year. You know, what's different about our program is it's just going to be a $0 down, federally incentivized ownership program. Okay, and when I say ownership, do you guys like the sound of that, or are you hoping to lease?
Sounds expensive.
Exactly. Why is it that you want to own?
I want to take care of what's mine. You know, I want to feel entitled to, you know, what I got. I got a nice big house, you know. I wouldn't want to keep leasing something where I can actually, you know, own it by a certain period of time.
Yeah, so the bills you're paying, you want to own it, and at least that money you're paying is going somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So this federal incentive, you guys all heard of the One Big Beautiful Bill? Who passed the One Big Beautiful Bill?
Sure.
Yep. And do you know what it did to solar? So it got rid of, it used to be when you went solar that you'd get a tax credit. And again, a tax credit's not cash back. It's just a tax credit. That means that if you don't have tax liability, you can't claim it. So there's a lot of people that they went solar, they were expecting this money back. They end up not getting the money back because they're retired or they're on Social Security or whatever, and their solar sales guy isn't a tax expert and doesn't know how that works and shouldn't be making promises. And so because they don't get that money, it steps up. So one thing that's nice about our program is we actually bought our batteries. So it's called Safe Harbor. So because we bought our batteries in 2025, we can still get you guys that tax credit even though it's expired. But what's different about the tax credit is we're actually going to claim it ourselves, and then we're just going to send you that back as a cash incentive. What's nice about that is the cash incentive is guaranteed because we're just selling that tax credit on the market. It's not dependent on your tax situation. So I can show you in the paperwork, but it explicitly says this isn't a tax rebate, this isn't a tax incentive, this is just a program incentive for participating in our program. Okay? So yeah, sure, Lanny, you're saying it might be expensive. Because it's $0 down, the story I like to always compare this to is your house. How long have you guys been in the home?
10 years.
Okay. And did you get a 10-year mortgage, or how long was your mortgage?
30 years.
Okay. So this is also going to address that concern that you brought up about long contracts. Why did you guys get a 30-year mortgage instead of a 10-year mortgage?
It's cheaper.
Cheaper where?
On the monthly price.
Okay. So why were you willing to pay? Because you're just going to be longer over time, right?
What?
You're going to pay more over time than you would with a 10-year.
Yeah.
So why were you willing to do that?
Yeah, definitely more affordable. We don't got. It's gonna be cheaper over time. I mean, cheaper over the 10 years, but we just don't have that money each month to pay a 10-year mortgage.
Yeah. If they only had 5 or 10-year mortgages, how many people do you think would own a home?
No way.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why back in the past, like 2000, it used to be no one went solar because you would have had to pay cash for it, and it just didn't make sense. So what's great about this program is actually the long terms. There's only one thing in the world that you could pay no money down, get a 25 to 30-year term on, and get 25% cash back, and that's solar. If you could buy a car on a 30-year term with no money down and get 25% cash back, how many people would have a car?
Mostly everyone in California.
Everyone in the world.
Yeah.
If you could buy a house and pay $0 down and get 25 cash back, how many people would have a house? Right? So what makes solar a no-brainer really isn't the technology, it's the access to funding. So what this solves, all this solves this problem of inflation. That's really all we're trying to solve. We're trying to get green energy instead of non-green energy, and we're trying to find a way to make it affordable for everyone. So everyone knows you're paying, what's your average bill?
250 or 300 bucks.
Okay.
25 last time I checked.
250. And what were you paying 5 years ago?
110.
Yeah. So if you could go back in time and lock in your prices at 110, would you have done it?
Oh, for sure.
Right? And what do you think you're going to be paying in 2031?
Well, at this rate, 500 bucks.
Right? So solar is not about How much money can I save right now? Especially when you're talking about ownership. When you own things, people usually pay more to own things, right? If you were renting a house and I said, hey, I can get you the same house, but I can get you a $0 down mortgage, how much more would you pay to own it than renting it? A lot more. Why? Now you're the bank. Now you're building the equity. Now you're not just subject to the landlord. You guys ever rented before? Has the landlord ever raised your rent?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We buy every year.
And sometimes you're barely making ends meet, and the landlord raises your rates. Right? So what we're afraid of is people don't do solar because of they really, really want panels. It's just because they really don't want inflation. Right? They don't do solar, they don't do batteries because they really want batteries. It's just because they really, really don't want to rent forever. Right? This bill that we can see is going up. It's going to go up forever. It's never going to go away. Do you see a time in the future where you're not going to be using electricity?
Something that we need.
No, unless you're going to go back to candles, right? So you're going to use this bill. You're going to pay for electricity until the day you die, right? So anytime you're going to pay for something till the day you die, shouldn't you own it, right? What are other things that we know we have to do? One of the biggest one we've already talked about is living expense. We know we have to live somewhere, so we want to own our house. We know we have to travel, so we want to own our car. And pretty much any time it's cheaper to own over time, we're going to do it. You know, I've even looked at a jet. Would a jet be cheaper than flying planes? Because those are expensive. And unless you fly every day, it's usually cheaper to fly. But if it was cheaper to own a jet, you would, right? Is that just me? What are some other expenses that we own because we know they're not going to go away? Yeah, if you can, right? I never have. I always have a payment plan. So I guess that's communication. You put your phone. Like, you don't want to rent everything, your laptop, your phone, the subscription plan for everything. Aren't you sick of the subscription plans? They never go away and they always raise the rates. You were subscribing for $10, now it's $20. How much is Netflix now?
About $25.
Right? I think it was $5 when it started.
Yeah, $5.
You know? So you guys are paying $250. It's just going to go around. So just to do some quick math with you, I have a calculator here in bright light. What do you think? And if it's not you, it's the next guy, right? You got to understand that when you own a home, you might make some decisions that don't benefit you. They might benefit the next guy. That's pretty much anything that you do for your home, right? If you put a new bathroom in, new windows in, new roofs in, you might not be able to see all the benefit, but that's going to help your home sell quicker. It's going to help it sell for more money. So if you guys keep on the current trajectory, the amount of money that you're going to give to PG&E is $250,000 over the next 25 years. And what are you going to have to show for that? Nothing. You're just going to have to pay this bill, which is probably going to be $2,000 a month. Some of your neighbors are already paying that. So it's really important that you help them understand how big of a problem this is. So if we could find a solution where you don't have to spend that $250,000, what would that mean for your family? Len, does that mean you could pay for Sam's college?
Yeah.
Right? And if you can pay for Sam's college and he can get a nice job, that's going to affect his life and his kid's life. Like this is one of those decisions that, again, if it doesn't cost you anything, if it did cost you anything, I would still recommend it. But if it doesn't cost you anything, it really becomes a no-brainer. So really all we want to get is if we can get something less than, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but if we can get you guys into ownership you're paying $250 up forever, if we can get something less than that and it never goes up, then that is when it starts to make sense. If I don't have to put any money down, so it's not expensive. A lot of people tell me right now, I'm on a budget, money's tight, you know what I'm saying? If you can get something less than what you're paying and it never goes up, then it starts to make sense. Is that fair enough? Okay, I'll go ahead and submit the application. What was your last name?
Well, can we think about it?
Sure. I wouldn't expect you not to.
It's an expensive decision.
Yeah. I mean, going solar is an important decision. One thing you'll love about Bright House is that we price match, So do whatever you got to do as much research as you want, get as many quotes as you want. What I need to do today is we need to set aside this safe harbor funds. So I only have so many of those batteries, just like I told you when I knocked on your door today, looking for one more home. If this price was higher than your 250, would that change the decision for you?
Yeah, we would do it.
Right? So that's why it's so important that we lock in those safe harbor funds, because the difference is, I'll just tell you, right now it's going to be 230. If we don't get those safe harbor funds, it's going to be 350. Now, I think the value's there. I think that we'll still be able to install solar at 350. But this is the difference between that 250 and 350 is what's making this a no-brainer. Right? So that's what I don't want, is to lose that opportunity for you guys. So what we're going to do is submit an application today, reserve those funds for you, schedule a site survey, and then, we're not going to be installing this tomorrow. Think about it. Let's talk more. But just while I'm here, what other concerns do you have for me, or what other questions do you have for me?
So how long does the battery last?
Yeah, good question. So because you guys have an N-phase system, I'm setting you up with an N-phase system to match. And so that's an all-American system. Have you guys heard of N-phase? They do about 50% of the business residentially in America. So they're like bigger than Tesla as far as residential microinverters and battery installs. They have a 15-year warranty on their battery, 25 years on the panels, and 25 years on the inverters as well, which is one of the best things about them. You usually don't get a 25-year inverter. What was your last name?
Well, what if it goes out in 20 years? Or the battery? I have to get another one?
Yeah, so with ownership, you're going to replace that battery. I can add in a 30-year or 25-year battery. It's going to increase your price to $250. The reason I don't do that is the cost of that warranty is about what the new battery is going to cost. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the car dealership, you could add on the extended 25-year warranty for $5,000, but the max you're ever going to pay for repairs is $5,000. So it just makes more sense just to own it like this. And when you look at the difference in how much you're going to save, because the batteries have a 15-year warranty. Let's say you have to replace them in 15 years, and that costs you $5,000. Because lithium batteries are already half the cost that they were 10 years ago. So the batteries are going to come down quite a bit over the next 15 years. Your savings, just do some quick calculations. By that point, you guys are pretty much saving $1,000 a year after year 5, because PG&E is going to be in 2031. PG&E is going to be $500, right? So 250 times 12 is like $3,000 a year. So you're already saving $3,000 a year by this. So the cost of the batteries is almost just 1 year of savings at year 5. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's just like owning a car. Like, you wouldn't be like, oh, do I have to replace my transmission? I guess I'm just going to Uber everywhere for the rest of my life. There's a cost of ownership, but the cost of ownership is less than the cost of Ubering everywhere for the rest of your life, right? What was your last name?
So that makes sense, but when the panels actually go up and I start using more power than what I was supposed to be producing, I just don't want to end up with that true-up bill. So are you sure that, that the amount of power on there is correct? What if someone move into my house and you start using the AC a lot?
Yeah,
do I call you? What do I do?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. So what I'd do is I'd show you in open solar, especially if I'm meeting with a whole family, I'm definitely going to build this out in open solar. I'm not going to use the bright light quick quote. You know what I'm saying? In open solar, it's going to show me every single month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 12 months. I'm going to put in your exact usage, and I'm going to put in your exact production. Okay? Well, I'm going to put in your usage, and I'm going to place the panels, and then it's going to show me your production. The way the true-up works now, back before 2023, you would just get a big bill at the end of the year. Now you're going to get a monthly true-up. Okay? So as you see from this graph, you guys are always, every month, you're producing more than you use, except for in November and December, I can see that you're using more power than you're producing. Any guesses to why that is?
Not really.
You remember something in the sky this November, December?
Fog out.
What did it block?
Sun.
Yeah. So solar's not magic. It's not going to work if the sun's not shining, right? If we have a rainy week. So what's nice about you guys is your high bills, you're paying about $800 in August and July, but your November bill is only $150. So I'm only going to cover half of your bill in November, So you should expect to pay $75 to PG&E in November. And that's why if you kind of break down this gap here, this solar is going to offset about 90%. It's going to offset 90% of what you're paying. So if you're paying $250 a month right now, I would expect to budget for $25 a month. Okay? And that's because our batteries are properly sized. We have twice the batteries on than we do have solar. So for example, if we have a 10 kilowatt system here, we want to have twice the size. So we have 20 kilowatts of battery. Is that tracking? Because right now PG&E is giving you pennies on the dollar. Did you guys hear that? The net metering went away. It used to be that you'd send them power and they'd give you like a dollar for dollar credit back. Now they're giving you 4 cents for any kilowatt hours that you send them. So what we do is instead of sending that power to PG&E, we're going to send that power to the battery and use it at nighttime. So this system's set up to be almost an off-grid system, right? You run off the solar during the day, the batteries at night. And because it's an N-phase system, I didn't tell you guys this, but we just got this new technology. It's called a meter collar. I've set up your battery to be battery backup. You guys have any friends that went solar and their system doesn't work when the grid goes down?
Yeah.
So what you guys will love about your batteries and your battery backup is you guys have full backup capability. So we're going to back up your house. So in the case of an emergency, the grid goes down, the food in the fridge, the food in the freezer, the lights, the Wi-Fi, everything you need, the TV, I wouldn't recommend running the air conditioner. It can, because the way it's set up, it's a full backup, but I would not run the air conditioner in case of an emergency. You want to make sure you have juice to run the fridge, you know what I'm saying? Until the power comes back on. How often do you guys lose power?
Twice a year, though.
But yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. And again, as you guys continue to think of more questions, I'm not going anywhere. That's one of the things I love about being right here downtown is you can always come in and talk to me, but you also got my phone number. So just give me a call. Let's dig into it. I typically have my customers call me the next day after we submit the application, just because they sleep about it and they think of more and more questions. And also what I'll do is I'll send you our website so you can look at our reviews, and you can also look through some of the testimonials, the videos I have of my customers talking about their experience with us, how happy they were they did it, how much they enjoyed the process, because that's going to help you, get that, clarity that you need. And then you can always talk to my customers as well. So text me if you want to talk to my customers. Adam's on the website. He's happy to talk to you. And just need your date of birth.
Well, so from what I understand, we're still paying $25 to PG&E.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be paying a little bit more than what we're paying now. Like $255.
Yeah. PG&E's already got rate increases approved for next year, right? So if you just want to look that up, PG&E's already going to go up. You're at $250. It already has a 10% increase for 2026, right? So $250 plus 10% is, it's like $25, $275. So that's what your 2027 bill is going to look like. Again, with ownership, if you guys want to talk about maximum savings, we should talk about leasing, right? The downside of leasing, your friend has a PPA.
Yeah.
That 149 sounds good, and I do leases. Again, I don't care. I'm an installer, so I get paid for doing the install. I really don't care what program you go through. And I'll give you the quote right now. The lease comes out at $190. Would you guys prefer we submit an application for that?
I like that.
I think that's pretty better than.
And we still have $25 with PG&E or just the $190?
Yeah, you're always going to have that. It's still going to cover. You're going to have about 10% of your PG&E bill. So the downside, it is my job to educate you guys, right? The downside of the lease is it has a 3.5% annual increase. Because you're leasing. Now, it's not bad. Like if PG&E came and knocked on your door today and said, hey, Landon, sign here and we'll never raise the rates more than inflation. We'll never raise the rates more than 3.5%. Would you sign it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, their average rate's 10%.
That's a good one. I like that.
So that's really all I want from PG&E is if they would just guarantee that they're only going to go up with inflation, I'm cool with them. What I'm not cool with is how much they've been raising the rates, right? So I don't have any problem with that. Plenty of customers choose the lease if that's your priority. You're going to save the most money with the lease for the first 5 years, you know, but the next 20 years, you would save more if you owned it. I started with ownership just because you guys were telling me you liked ownership. But now that you see that, which one do we want to submit an application for?
We'll probably be here for more than 5 years, so let's do the ownership.
Do you need my social? Because I don't want to run my credit.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I think it's shot.
Yeah, I'll show you. Your social's shot, and you're the guy on title, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys will actually like this. I have a no credit option. It's called PACE. It's going to be slightly less than the SunGauge option I was showing you. We were at $230. So the new price is going to be $210. The only thing that's different with PACE is instead of putting it on your credit, they're going to put it on your property taxes. Okay. And go ahead.
How does that work?
So it's a county approved program. You know how you have like county taxes, property taxes, and you pay them on your mortgage probably?
It's included.
Yeah. So it's going to go on your mortgage because it's going to increase your property tax by $210 a month.
Why didn't we just go with that originally? It's $20 cheaper.
It's a bit more paperwork and it's a bit harder to explain. You see, I'm already having a hard time explaining it. People understand funding a purchase. Home run, I only really deal with if we need to with the credit situation. But I did, if you look at the proposal, I did include home run. It's at the bottom. We just kind of were running with the 230.
And that's what home run is? That's PACE?
Yeah. Yeah. It is better pricing than SunGauge.
No credit.
No credit. They can't be late on their property taxes. So that's why we didn't PACE Miguel's deal, is this lady we had this morning was late on her property taxes, so we couldn't do PACE.
I got a couple of those. I'm ready to go. I just didn't know that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, what I've found when I'm knocking my hours is I usually find at least one PACE laying me down a week. If you're hitting your 100 doors a day, there'll just be someone that says, I want to go solar, I can't. And they just haven't talked to someone that has access to this program.
Yeah.
So if you just, like, you're going to find that guy every week if you're getting the doors in. And they pay more than SunGauge. So it's a pretty, like, that can pay all your bills. And then you get good at your skills and you get the other ones in.
If I get into the bright light and I select home run, then will that trigger a response to Miles so he can send those right documents out for PACE?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just make sure you're texting him
Cool.
or me. Hey, I'm in house. I'm going to do a PACE. And then if you click accept proposal, those docs will just
What
go
about
out.
bankruptcies?
No bankruptcies in the last 3 years. No missed
Can you
prop.
write that down? I can take a picture of it real quick.
It's in New Clino.
Okay.
Yeah. So what was your date of birth?
5, 10, 61.
Happy birthday.
I don't know, guys. What do you think? Let's just see if we can run credit.
Yeah, see if our home qualifies.
Okay, you're qualified.
Great job.
Well, it's just a pre-qualified for now. I still got to go make sure we have access to that $15,000 to cover that good portion of the system. And I need to send the site survey by, look at the roof and that sort of thing. When's a good time for the site survey?
We'll be home on Saturday.
Okay, perfect. We'll see you Saturday at 10 and just sign this install agreement for me. Or should I say, let me just get your autograph here real quick.
I got it.
Okay,
All right. I guess we're set for Saturday.
looking forward to working with you guys. See ya.
Question real quick. I have. Yeah.
Go ahead.
For the customers that